Jennifer Griffin with the latest on Japan. And just into Fox News, Jennifer, from the Middle East. This is from Libya. According to the Al Jazeera satellite news network, Libya has just said that, quote, the Security Council decision is not worth the paper it's written on. The Security Council decision, of course, the one to enact a no-fly zone over Libya, and that word came from Muammar Gaddafi himself. Jen, you're our Pentagon correspondent for us normally, and a question about our breaking news on Libya. Now that the UN Security Council has passed a resolution for a no-fly zone, what can we expect the Pentagon, what role can we expect the Pentagon to play?
Well, I'm told that from Pentagon sources that they are waiting for guidance from the White House about what role they will play in this no-fly zone. Do not expect to see American planes necessarily flying missions in this first night. There are likely to be French and British planes, but the U.S. would be involved in logistics and supporting in refueling in midair. But again, there has not been a lot of stomach at the Pentagon, and you've heard Secretary Gates privately has been recommending that the U.S. planes should not be the ones bombing Libya. But again, that is all fluid, and the Pentagon is waiting for its direction and guidance from the White House tonight.
You know, Jennifer, it looks like a lot of pieces of this puzzle had to come together. First of all, the French and the British had to lead this thing so that it didn't look like so that Gaddafi wouldn't be able to say America's invading and blame us. Secondly, you had to get China and Russia to abstain from the voting, because this is not something they were really for, is it?
That's right. In fact, one of the reasons it's taken so long and is such a last-minute resolution is because of the Chinese and the Russians. So for them to abstain, they stepped out of the way. Remember, the French have been pushing this resolution because they depend heavily on Libyan oil. They use this kind of light oil that is refined in Libya. It's not a kind of oil that the U.S. uses. The the French have felt very strongly about getting involved and about this no-fly zone, and you can expect their planes to be in the lead. Shep.
Right, that makes sense. Jennifer Griffin live for us at the State Department tonight. We're working your Pentagon sources for us all the while. And Jennifer, we've just gotten some brand new video, and this is coming to us from Tripoli. And these are Gaddafi loyalists who were just getting the word on the no-fly zone and hearing from Colonel Muammar Gaddafi about how he was going to sweep right into Benghazi. You'll remember the beginning of this crisis, the citizens rose up and we started calling them rebels, and they overtook many of the cities in Libya. It appeared in the early going that they might be able to overrun the government. Then Muammar Gaddafi upped the forces on the ground. Then he started flying in the air. Then he started mowing down his own people. Then he became stronger and stronger, killing more and putting down more of the rebellion. And now we're down to one city, it would appear, the stronghold of Benghazi. And now, today, in fact, into tonight, Muammar Gaddafi vows he will go in and mow down anyone showing, quote, no mercy. With us now, John Bussey, the assistant managing editor of the Wall Street Journal, which is owned by the parent company of this network. He's live for us in our studios in New York. John, is it too little and too late for this action by the Security Council? I mean, it's been weeks of Gaddafi killing his own citizens over there.
Yeah, it's definitely late. It probably won't be too little. Remember that probably the first thing that's going to happen is that you're not just going to establish a no-fly zone and then attack planes that are in the air. There's going to be some bombing of installations on the ground that are air defenses, and that would reveal any incoming aircraft from abroad. So it's probably going to be much more complicated than just setting up a no-fly zone. But the Europeans and the U.S. Were facing a situation in which a emboldened Gaddafi would have essentially slaughtered all the people that had been against him, and then would have been strengthened once again with a lot of oil revenue over time, even though there's sanctions, to once again lash out the way that he used to in the 1980s and 1990s.
But if you're a conspiracy theorist, and they're out there because we've gotten emails from them, John, you look at this situation, you say, he's been mowing down and murdering his people from the very beginning. We now know he ordered the takedown of Pan Am Flight 103. We know he's been saying one thing and doing another forever. And now his people rebel against him, and you allow him to go in and kill the rebel leaders and all those who rebelled against him until the very last minute when you're down to one city. I mean, what is the further thinking? Now that the rebels are put down, you go in and take out Gaddafi, and then, I don't know, some Western government goes in and props up a government of its own?
Yeah, the danger was not having political cover to do this. The Europeans and the U.S. definitely did not want to be seen as intervening in a North African country, turning what has been popular unrest against the United States or against the Europeans. critically getting the Arab League voting in favor of a no-fly zone was essential. But it's gone beyond that. The Europeans, the U.S. have been encouraging Arab countries to kind of kick in more resources against Gaddafi. Charles Levinson just put up a story on our website saying that Egypt is now supplying the rebels with the U.S. knowledge. That's a very big move. That's a very solid move by an Arab country.
Our new friends in Egypt after the fall of a regime there. John Bussey from the Wall Street Journal. Levinson's article available right now at WSJ.com. Well, back now to